City Council is in session. Roll call, please.
Dingfelder. Goods.
Here.
Maniscalco.
Here.
Citro.
I'm here.
Miranda.
Here.
Carlson. And Vieira.
Here. Okay, we have, before we begin, we're going to have some commendations that are very, very important for some really, really honored guests. But before we begin, we have the good folks here from Troop 16, who I was speaking with before about their basic local government duties. It's part of their merit badge that they have to do. And these fine young patriotic men would love to lead us, young men and women would love to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So y'all come up. And it's a perfect night because we have the American Legion here with us. And so it's a good day for this. So if y'all would please stand up.
Do you want him to get in front of the mic?
Yeah, sure.
Is it on?
No, it's all on. It's on.
Okay, go ahead. Ben, start the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, young men and women. And if y'all would like, why don't y'all stay up here for a minute? Go ahead and give us your name and what you want to do when you get older, if you know.
We did bring you some cookies because we want to make sure you know the Girl Scouts aren't the only ones with cookies.
Oh, that's great. I know, it's...
Bring them up to the Marty Shelby.
Heck yeah.
So there's plenty to share.
He's our taster.
Exactly.
So go ahead. If you want to state your name. Oh, you all right?
Okay, it's okay. There's something.
Different. Thank you. Yeah. If you want to state your name, my friend, and what do you want to do when you grow up? Go ahead.
My name is Corey, and I want to be in the NBA.
Cool.
My name is Julius, and I don't really know what I want to do yet.
Okay.
My name is Ben Affleck, and I want to be in the United Nations.
Did you say Ben Affleck?
Affleck.
Okay, that's cool. Good for you. Go ahead.
My name is Megan Flores, and I guess I want to be a doctor.
Okay. And go ahead, Nick.
My name is Nicholas McGlinney, and I want to go in the military.
No lawyers? The world needs more lawyers.
No.
No, I'm joking.
No,
Well, thank you guys and very much for all that y'all in your journey and whatnot, and we appreciate. Now you all are going to be watching this council meeting, which I don't think is going to be very long. So there you go. Well, thank you guys very much. Thank you very much. And Councilman Miranda, if you would like to proceed, sir, you may.
Who made the cookies?
Yes, they're delicious.
They're very good.
The mother.
They're very good.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, honorable members of Tampa City Council. Before we start this meeting tonight, I'd like to honor Bill Hamblin. Bill passed away on February 10th, 2020. Bill had been the face of the American Legion USS Post 5 for more than 12 years. He was a true believer in the American Legion pillars, but his passion was Americanism. He was instrumental in implementing not only the historical and dramatic presentation journey of the flag, but he also pushed for members of Post 5 to volunteer for duties that would promote Americanism, help veterans, and bring continued goodwill to Post 5. He was a driving force for us to form the Honor Guard. He was a directive and willing to provide services for the flag and the veterans who deserved defense of the flag, who died for the defense of the flag, really. He jumped at every opportunity to participate as a member of the Honor Guard and usually was a bearer of the national colors of Tampa Post 5 to promote Americanism with community involvement, both as a volunteer through financial support. He also led the battle to support veterans here in Tampa and in Hillsborough County and throughout this great country with his activism. He was also heavily involved in community support, serving as a scoutmaster with the Boy Scouts of America. Mr. Frank, he's a wonderful guy. We miss him all, and an outstanding individual who gave it all so that we could have a better life. All of you are really, all of us are endowed to individuals like Bill Hamblin, who did everything he could to promote not only America, but activism and the Constitution of the United States of America. We miss him a lot. We have presentations. They're coming up now for individuals who have done different things. I don't have them in any order, so I hope that Mr. Frank Smith can help me out.
First of all, I'm Frank Smith. I'm the oratorical chairman at Post 5. I'd like to thank the council for honoring our students year after year, as you have for these many years. Probably at least 10 years we've been doing this. And first of all, I'd like to recognize the people that put on the event this year. Our new post commander that replaced Bill, Gerard Abbott, if you'd come up and join us up here. And also, if you just take a bow, Alice Holloway, the Girl Scout leader, which you'll hear about later. Just take a bow, Alice. Don't hurt yourself. There you go. Thank you. Okay, the American Legion Oratorical Contest is actually a teaching device which educates high school students on the fundamentals of the Constitution and on their responsibilities as citizens. Each contestant gives an 8 to 10 minute speech on a topic of their choice, and then a 3 to 5 minute speech on one of 4 topics that are pre-assigned. So they have to have 5 speeches in their head, and it's pretty difficult. It's not for everybody. So this year we had 2 brothers that participated in our Post 5 contest. Our first one I'd like to call up tonight is Bryce Betke. Bryce, would you come up here? Charlie?
Bryce, this is a presentation, commendation to you from the Tampa City Council for all the work, and you're a silver medalist in the 2019-2020 U.S. Post 5 American Legion Oratorical Contest that was held January 11, 2020. Congratulations to you, young man.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you for everyone who went out of their way to set up this event. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was also very educational. It taught me a lot about our government and some interesting history I didn't know, and I think it's very important. I also want to say good luck to my brother, who you will be hearing about shortly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And also, our new post commander, Gerard Abbott, is going to give you a proclamation from our post and also a citation, because in addition to this, when we finished the oratorical contest, both Bryce and his brother are Boy Scouts, and we finished the remaining requirements of the public speaking merit badge. And so we're giving you a little citation for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again.
Next year. Okay, next is the winner of the Post 5 contest, his brother Wyatt Becky.
Wyatt, it's a pleasure myself on behalf of Tampa City Council to honor you with this commendation, presented to you this for the gold medal that you received in the 2019-2020 U.S. Post 5 American Legion Oratorical Contest held again on January the 11th, 2020. It's not too easy to do what you've done. And just in speaking and having 5 things in your mind, I can't remember 5 names, and you had to remember 5 different topics. And I know that what I've heard in the past, and I'm sure you're the same way, it was amazing to me how you can keep all those words in your mind, and like the whole Constitution, basically. Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you. Say anything. All right. Thank you for setting up this event. I just want to say, before starting this competition, I've always been interested in public policy and the Constitution and just American history in general. But signing up for this competition, I knew it was not going to be easy, and I knew I would have to work. There are a lot of things that I, for myself, and many people in our country that just don't know too much about the Constitution or our history. So there was really a lot that I learned being part of this competition so far, and I really am going to work to do well at the state competition. Thank you.
Okay, this time our post commander will also give him a certificate of appreciation for completing the public speaking merit badge and a citation on the contest from the post.
Good luck in your next step.
Thank you.
Okay, now at this time we'll do something different. Put those down because you're going to need your hands for this next one. All right? Pass these back here. All right? Okay, this time he's going to give a 3 to 5 minute oration. This is one of the prepared speeches. The topic this year is the 12th Amendment. To refresh your memory on the 12th Amendment, this was the amendment that was in response to the political treachery and electoral college process meltdown that occurred after the election of 1800. That was the one with Jefferson and Burr and Adams. So he's now going to give you a 3 to 5 minute speech on that. Go ahead and prosecute.
We have been a nation for well over 200 years, yet the Constitution has only been amended 27 times. This tells me that our founding fathers did a tremendous job of creating guidelines that are both fair and relevant to the problems we face. It is only appropriate that the Constitution is not amended often because, after all, it is the touchstone governing document of our history. Our founding fathers meant for it to be difficult to change. So, whenever it is amended, it is for a very important issue that impacts our nation as a whole. The 12th Amendment addressed just such an issue. It corrected flaws in the Electoral College system, which were responsible for the controversial presidential election of 1800, in which Federalist President John Adams went up against Democratic Republican Thomas Jefferson. Under the Constitution, each of the state's electors voted for 2 candidates, the 2 candidates who were believed to be the best presidents. The person who had the most votes became president, and the runner-up became vice president. The Democratic Republican electors cast both their votes, however, for the party's candidates, Thomas Jefferson and his running mate, Aaron Burr. The result was an exact tie, each man receiving 73 votes. According to the Constitution, if each candidate received a majority of the electoral votes but were tied, the House of Representatives would decide which one would be president. The House voted 35 times over 5 days, yet neither candidate received a majority. It was not until the 36th vote and after Alexander Hamilton, who hated Burr, advised that Thomas Jefferson was ultimately the better choice, that Thomas Jefferson became our president. The tie vote between Jefferson and Burr exposed this problem with the Electoral College system. In 1804, the 12th Amendment corrected the problem by providing for separate Electoral College votes for president and vice president. The 12th Amendment also modified the way that tie votes would be broken. The House of Representatives would choose only the president from the top 3 choices of the electors for that office. This is how the 1824 presidential election was decided. The House voted for John Quincy Adams. Pursuant to the 12th Amendment, the Senate would choose the vice president from the top 2 choices of electors for that specific office. Although it is probably unknown to most people, the fascinating history of the 12th Amendment was featured in the hit Broadway play, Hamilton, and its impact remains important today. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was really good.
All right. We're good.
I can confess that I learned a lot just in the last 5 minutes.
Thank you.
I didn't know anything about that, and I may be flawed, but I admit that you had taught me something, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
We're here today to advise us and give us some insight into what happened in that election. In fact, when we talk today, you see on television, they talk about the Electoral College, they talk about the votes, they talked about the different states, so you were right on target. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he'll be going to the state tournament, the state championship, second Saturday in March. So good luck to you from all of us. Thank you. Okay, next one we're going to honor In addition to the oratorical contest this year, we put on 2 Girl Scout badges that have been invented within the last 9 years that actually related to the topic of politics and government. The first 3 we're going to honor are 3 senior Girl Scouts. Senior Girl Scouts are freshmen and sophomore years in high school. And the badge that they earned was called Behind the Ballot. We set up 5 stations. We had a Tampa poll worker at one station to explain how the sample ballot worked and look up how election results are found on the internet. They went to the Board of Elections and went through that. And another station where they looked at how to do a budget for an election. They actually do a small spreadsheet to do a monthly item. We gave them a budget of $80,000, and we said, here, put them in the numbers, and here's a couple of rules. Don't go over this, don't go over that. It's kind of interesting. And we also had 2 voter advocacy groups. The League of Women Voters were there, and another voter advocacy group was represented. So all in all, it took about 3 hours, and they really got a good understanding of how elections and our whole political process works here in Florida. So at this time, we'd like to honor the 3 scouts that participated. The first scout is, she's not here tonight. I gave her mom her plaque. It's Haley Holloway, and she's from Senior Troop 1912. The second scout is Lily Justice. If you come forward. And the post commander. Good.
Lily, my pleasure. On behalf of Tampa City Council, we honor you with the Senior Girl Scout Troop 1912. That was almost the year I was born. And you don't have to laugh at that. But we honor you for everything you've done and will continue to do. And it's about yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. That's what the Girl Scouts are about.
Thank you.
Okay. Could you tell them your name and where you go to school?
Oh,
what grade you're in?
I'm Lily Justice. I'm in 9th grade and I go to Robinson High School.
Okay, now we have a plaque from our post commander. Okay, thank you very much. That wasn't too painful, was it?
That's when my dad was born, 1912.
Okay, the next one we'd like to honor is Mary Neal. Mary?
Mary, likewise, it's a pleasure of myself representing Tampa City Council to honor you with this commendation for your Senior Girls Troop 1906. And that was 6 years before I was born. And it's a pleasure to do this. The badge behind the ballot. You're a fine young lady, and again, you're Girl Scouts. Remember, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and forever, the Girl Scouts.
I want to thank everyone so much that helped put this together. I learned a lot about the government in all of its levels and about the importance of voting. So thank you.
What grade where do you go to school?
I am in 10th grade and I do Hillsborough Virtual School.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on the next one, we have an Ambassador Girl Scout. Ambassadors were invented about 5 or 6 years ago. Those are juniors and seniors. And the badge that they have is called Public Policy, where they actually get to talk to policymakers. And she did 2 interviews, one of which tonight was with Mr. Miranda, and one was with Judge Darrell. He's going to kill me.
Manning.
I can't remember his name.
Manning?
Manning,
Yeah.
Judge Darrell Manning. He does a lot of work with a youth group. So she got to do 2 interviews with them and also talk to a policymaker from an NGO. Very interesting badge, talking about how the sausage is made. And I think she learned a lot, and it's a really great badge. So at this time, Gloria, would you come up?
Nice seeing you again, Gloria.
Hello.
My pleasure. I spent about 25 minutes with Gloria prior to coming into this chamber. And Gloria Neal, you're Ambassador Girl Scout from Troop 5 or 6. Gloria's interest was the interest of all of us that work in the Tampa City Council in the city of Tampa. She was very interested in water, how it's produced, how it's distributed, the costs, and where does it come from. I couldn't do all that in 25 minutes, but I did the best I can. Am I correct? Thank you. I had to pay her to do that, but thank you for your interest. Water is the most important thing on earth. Without water, there'd be no earth because there'd be no one living. Thank you very much for your attention to water and to tertiary treatment and how it's done. And Gloria, you'll see more of her because she's very much interested in the environment and in things that really concern all of us. So you're honored today, and we thank you very much for everything. And a Girl Scout what? Yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever.
I want to thank everybody who helped me to get to this point, and I want to thank Miranda for speaking with me, and Judge Manning also for speaking with me.
Tell us where you go to school.
Yeah,
what
tell us
grade.
where you-
That's a tough one here.
Hillsborough County Virtual School.
Okay, you're in what, senior, right?
Senior, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks again. Thanks to Frank Smith and Arnold.
Sure.
I really appreciate everything, and thank the council for this time. I tell you what, I'm sure that all of us learned something because what that young man spoke about the Constitution and how way back in the 1800s, I really didn't know too much about that. Thank you very much, council, for this time.
Thank you, sir. Any remarks from council? Any? I just wanted to just thank everybody for coming out here today. You know, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big student of United States history. When I was a kid, I used to probably read 2, 3, 4 books a week on U.S. history. And I still do. In fact, it's bitterly ironic because I'm actually carrying with me a book I'm reading right now, The Republic for Which It Stands, on Reconstruction in the Gilded Age. Yes, I'm that kind of guy. I'm a big nerd. What I would tell y'all is when you choose between this and this, choose this. I sound like an old man, but it's true. But just what y'all said with regards to our Constitution and the American way, I think is something that's so important. We lose track of that as Americans, don't we? We're always on social media, attacking one another. And notice the things that y'all spoke about here today, y'all didn't mention parties. Y'all didn't mention anyone who's running for president. Didn't have a darn thing to do with what y'all were talking about. What y'all were talking about was the greatness of our country and American honor. American honor through the American Legion, through great Americans like the late Bill Hamlin. And that American honor exists independent of who's in the White House, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat in the White House. That American honor still stands. And y'all spoke really, really well. And by the way, I'm a big history guy. I didn't know off the bat what was in the 12th Amendment. So shame on me. I mean that. And I'm an attorney, even worse. And I'm an attorney. I'm not a constitutional attorney, but I'm an attorney. God help him if that's true. No, I'm joking. But really, great job, y'all. And I would encourage you guys just in the future, continue on the path that y'all are on. Continue to study U.S. history. You know, when and again, I'm idealistic. The day I turned 18, I went to register to vote. I remember being 18 years old. I did an internship in Congress with then Congressman Richard Gephardt, and I, was involved in politics all throughout my young adulthood. And whether you're a Republican or Democrat, whatever it is, I'd encourage y'all to be involved in politics. Volunteer for candidates who affirm your values. And just work hard for them and work hard for the ideas that y'all affirm. So just thank you guys. God bless you. Thank you. If y'all want to stay for alcohol hearing, you're more than welcome. It's going to be riveting. Okay. And thank you, Councilman Miranda, for that. Thank you, sir. That's always enriching. Okay. May I have a motion to open our public hearing? Motion by Councilman Maniscalco, seconded by Councilman Miranda. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Oh, yeah, thank you. If you're going to be speaking here tonight on this item, if you could please stand up if you're able to do so and prepare to be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good
evening, Council. Ryan Manassi, Planning, Design, and Development Coordination. Item number 1 is application AB 2-2002 for the property located at 3333 Southwest Shore Boulevard. There is an existing AB permit for the subject site through Ordinance 2000-68 for the sale of beer and wine with on-premise consumption only in connection with the restaurant. The existing restaurant has a fire occupancy of 86. The petition before you tonight is requesting special use approval to allow the sale of alcoholic beverages for a small venue, beer and wine consumption on premises and package sales off premises consumption. The proposed uses listed per the application were microbrewery, bar, and retail sales. The petition is not considered a change of use, and the total AB sales area for this petition is 1,456 square feet of indoor alcohol sales only. According to the floor plan, there's a total of 60 occupants, which is shown on the Elmo. The subject site is located in, let me switch this over to the site plan so you guys have it in front of you. That's too much forgetting. The subject site is located in a strip center and has a total of 23 existing parking spaces. The previous use for the subject site was a restaurant, and the proposed use is not an increase in intensity. Therefore, the site layout itself was not required to go through additional site reviews such as parking and buffering. The remaining units in the strip center are for retail sales, with 2 units identified per the site plan as retail takeout restaurant. Typically, that'd be like 10 seats or under for zoning purposes. The aerial map will better show the location of the property in its vicinity. And what I did is the subject site is outlined in the dashed red, and the blue is the actual subject site. I just did that just for a little more clarity. It is along a mixed-use corridor village, and the distance separation requirement is 250 feet from residential and other AB sales establishments. The site plan states the following: the hours of operation will be consistent with Chapter 14. The sales area shall not be located within a parking loading area or space, and that all permits issued after April 1st, 2011 shall be kept on site, a copy of the adopted ordinance and associated site plan. And this is Exhibit C1 from the application, just to give you clarity on where these distance separations are coming from. The applicant is requesting 2 waivers from the code that for the required distance separation from other AB sales establishments as well as the residential uses. The closest residential use, which is highlighted there in orange, is 3310 South Omar, which is zoned RS75 and is 11 feet from the closest AB sales area for the subject site. And then the yellow is the closest AB sales establishment, which is located at 3342 South West Shore Boulevard, and it's a restaurant, which is zone CG, and it holds a 4 COP, which is beer, wine, liquor consumption on premises license, and is located 201 feet from the closest AB sales area on the subject site. Staff report outlines code criteria for City Council reference and consideration from sections 2743 for the definitions, section 27129 for your general standards, and section 27132 for the regulations governing individual special uses. I'll show you some site pictures. So the subject site itself is the first top picture, and then what I did was just did some north and south pictures of the strip center. The lower picture is the neighbor to the north, which is actually the city of Tampa. It's some type of utility infrastructure. And then the north is 3307 West Shore, which is the north neighbor past the city of Tampa property. The south neighbor, it actually abuts a canal, which you cannot see on this picture, but right beyond here is the intercoastal. And then this is a view south on West Shore Boulevard. Top picture is the view north on West Shore. And then this is just a picture of South Omar Street, which is the block face that is directly to the west of the subject site, and the closest residential use, which is 3310 South Omar Street. The Development Review and Compliance staff has reviewed the application and finds it inconsistent with the applicable City of Tampa Code of Ordinances. Should council approve this petition, there is very minor correction needed. That's listed in your staff report between first and second reading, and staff is available for any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Good evening, council members. Matt Poling, 101 East Kennedy Boulevard. I'm an attorney at Trenum. I represent the applicant. I don't have too much to add to what Ryan has gone through, other than we are requesting those 2 minor waivers to the distance separation requirements. Otherwise, I believe staff found that we're consistent with code on this application. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council members?
I have
yes, sir.
Just a couple. Is there going to be food served in this establishment also?
That's, I believe, no.
No. And my next question is this actually going to be an on-site brewery? Or, yes, okay, I see somebody's head nodding back there, so I'm out. I have to wait for your answer, sir. Is this going to be an on-site brewery?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually.
So we can consider this, especially since it's package sales, I understand, or off-site consumption, that this is going to be more of a high-end type of a brewery.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning, and my question there, it's not going to be a 7-Eleven where people drive in, drive out constantly to get alcohol, is my question.
Yeah. The off-site package sales, that's really just an option. That's not the primary use, certainly. This is definitely going to be a sit-down.
Maybe it might be somebody's dining there and says, really, I like this Pilsner, I think I want to take some home with me.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
Or stout, or red, or an ale.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Is anyone here tonight to comment on item number 1? May I have a motion to close?
Second.
Motion to close by Councilman Miranda, second by Councilman Citro. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Who would like to take this item? I'll take it. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have an ordinance being presented for first reading consideration. An ordinance providing a special use permit, SU2, for alcoholic beverage sales, small venue, consumption on premises, and package sales for off-premises consumption, and making lawful the sale of beer and wine at or from that certain lot, plot, or tract of land located at 3333 Southwest Shore Boulevard, Tampa, Florida, as more particularly described in Section 3, providing that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict are repealed, repealing ordinance number 2000-68, providing an effective date, and including all the waivers.
We have a motion by Councilman Escacco, seconded first by Councilman Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion carried with Dingfelder being absent. Second reading and adoption will be held March 19th at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you, Madam. Okay, that would appear to be it. Information reports, new business. Councilman Goods, anything, sir? No, sir. Councilman Maniscalco.
No, sir.
Councilman Citro.
Yes, and the first one is time sensitive, and I hope that Ms. Marshall doesn't hurt me in any sort of way. But as I mentioned earlier, one of our city attorneys, Mr. Jared Simpson, is going to be leaving us after 5 years. I would like to give him a accommodation at our next meeting on March 5th.
We have a motion by Councilman Citro, seconded by Councilman Escacco. Yep, he's leaving. He's going to the city of Lakeland, right?
Yes, that is correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
My next one, thank you very much,
sir.
Mr. Chair and Council. There is a person who helped me out in many of my boards I was with, Code Enforcement and Variance Review Board, that I had somehow overlooked, and I regret that, and I'd like to make amends on that now. Mr. Ernie Mueller.
Yes, second.
He was with our legal staff, and for some reason I apologize. I would like to also give him a commendation from City Council on March 19th.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Citro, and let me just look at March 19th. I'm sure it's fine. 1, 2, 3. That'll be the 4th. Is that set in stone, or? It is? You know what? That's fine. That's fine. It's good. Ernie's a good guy.
I'll talk really quick.
Yeah, no, you're cool. And you know, Ernie, back when I was in the Civil Service Review Board, that's where I had the great pleasure of first meeting Mr. Crew. Ernie was one of our attorneys for the city and always did a good job and is a nice gentleman. So we have a motion by Councilman Citro, seconded by whom?
I did.
Councilman Escalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else, sir?
That clears off my book. Thank you, Chair.
Chairman, before I do, there must be something in the water, because also I have make a combination of motion to give Annette Ryan a combination for retiring from the city of Tampa.
Microphone, they're saying to get closer.
From the combination for Annette Ryan, a combination for her retirement after 12 years of service for the city, to be presented on March 5th, City Council.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Miranda, seconded by Councilman Citro. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilman Carlson, anything, sir?
To not be different, many of you know Marlon Anderson, who is the head of the South Tampa Association of Neighborhoods, and he just moved to Clearwater. So I'd like to make a motion to create a commendation to be presented to Marlon Anderson on March 26th.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Carlson, seconded by Councilman Citro.
What was that date? I'm sorry.
March 26th.
March 26th is the workshop day?
Is that workshop?
That's what you wanted?
That was the date I was given, so
Okay, that's
I know
fine.
he's moving
Thank
to
you.
Clearwater.
Yep. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Anything else, sir? And nothing on my end, receive and file?
Move to receive and
Motion
file.
by Councilman Maniscalco, second by Councilman Citro. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
De lado uma casa